Already I told you that the blood cells are produced in bone marrow. Okay, red blood cells are formed in bone marrow, red bone marrow, mostly red bone marrow. Basically, we have two types of bone marrow: yellow bone marrow and red bone marrow. Okay, next in coming classes, we will able to study about that flat. So where does we have flat and irregular bones? Like we have vertebral column. It is very irregular, not one shape, have different shapes. Okay, and we have uh, sternum bone. We have uh, pelvic bone. So on that, from that place, we have red bone marrow, and red bone marrow will produce all the blood cells. So basically, red bone marrow, what does red bone marrow have? They have stem cells. Means this is the beginning of the any cell from the stem cells. Okay, they are not specialized cells. Okay, they are not specialized cells, but they will produce different cells which after that they are specialized. Okay, the stem cells of the red bone marrow may also be called hemocytoblast, also called hemocytoblast. Hemo means blood, cyto means cells, blast means producing. Hemo means blood, cyto means cells, blast means producing. So blood cell producing area. Okay, and they constantly undergo mitosis to produce all the kinds of blood cells, many of which are RBC. The rate of production is very rapid, estimated several million new RBC per second. Okay, and a major regulating factor is oxygen. Okay, so what happening that said the stem cell, also called hemocytoblast, they will produce all the different cells. Okay, and in that the most number of cells are RBC, millions of RBC per second. Okay, per second. Okay, so the most important thing that they need oxygen. What they need? They need oxygen. If the if the body is in hypoxia, means decrease oxygen, okay, or lack of oxygen, the kidney produces a hormone called erythropoietin. I also told you that the kidney produces a hormone that is called erythropoietin, which stimulates red bone marrow to increase the rate of RBC. Okay, this will occur following hemorrhage or if a person stay for a time at high altitude. As a result of the action of erythropoietin, more RBC will be able to carry oxygen and correct the hypoxic state. So basically erythropoietin, which has released from the kidney, okay, which is released from the kidney, is able to produce more RBC, erythrocytes. RBC also known as erythrocytes. If there is if a person is climbing a mountain, what will happen? The while climbing, the decrease the oxygen. While climbing, while climbing, the oxygen is decreased and the carbon dioxide is increased. Okay, or nitrogen will increase. What will happen that it will in the body due to the hypoxic condition, our body produce more RBC because the low amount of oxygen is utilized. Okay, so this is a very important step. The stem cell that will become RBC go through a number of developmental stages. Only the last two of which we mentioned. The normoblast is the last stage in a nucleus, which then disintegrates. The reticulocytes has fragments of the endoplasmic reticulum, which are visible when blood smears are stained for microscopic elevation. These immature cells are usually found in red bone marrow, although a small number of reticulocytes in the peripheral circulation is considered normal. Large number of reticulocytes or normoblasts in the circulating blood may mean that the number of mature RBC is not sufficient to carry the oxygen need by the body. Such situation includes hemorrhage, or when mature RBC have been destroyed, as in RH disease of the newborn and malaria. So what will happen here that some immature RBC also released in the blood cells, but there is not more than the required amount. Okay, the 1.5% of the total RBC. If there is 100 RBC, only 15 or 1.5 means per 100%, 1.5% to RBC means if I'm 100, 99 8 are mature and two are immature. Okay, it is okay, no problem. But if it is more than 1.5%, what will happen? It is a chance of hemorrhage, bleeding, because the RBC are immature. They will blast, and what will happen? It will rupture any blood value, blood vessel. It will undergo any area will disturb the normal circulation. Okay, this is the thing we have to remember, that this is the stem cell. Okay, it will produce different steps are there. Okay, we will not discuss here. We'll discuss in blood pathology. Okay, okay, blood pathology. Here we have the normoblast, and that is we have reticulocytes. Okay, then we have erythrocytes, which doesn't have nucleus. These are the things we have to remember. The maturation of R blood cells requires many nutritions. So how the RBC matured? Okay, so first I will revise in the Hindi, then we will continue the lecture. तो बेसिकली देखिए आरबीसी जो है कहाँ प्रोड्यूस होता है, ये हमारे बोन मैरो में, ठीक है, जिसको हम गुद कहते हैं, जो हड्डियों में होता है। ये दो प्रकार के हो सकते हैं, एक है हमारे येलो और एक रेड। ठीक है, रेड बोन मैरो में ही आपको ब्लड सेल्स बनते हैं। ठीक है, रेड बोन मैरो में कौन से ब्लड सेल्स बनते हैं? ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ। ठीक है, लेकिन ये स्टार्टिंग जो होता है वो एक ही सेल होता है जो अलग अलग सेल्स को बनाता है, फिर वो सेल्स स्पेशलाइज्ड सेल्स को बनाते हैं। पहला जो सेल होता है वो कॉमन बनाता है, ये चीज याद करना। और ऐसे स्टेम सेल को क्या बोलेंगे? हेमोसाइटोब्लास्ट। हेमो मीन्स ब्लड, साइटो मीन्स सेल्स, ब्लास्ट मीन प्रोड्यूसिंग, यानी सेल को, ऐसा ब्लड जो सेल को बनाने वाला, ऐसा सेल जो ब्लड को बनाने वाला है। ठीक है, तो इससे हमें यहाँ पे एक दो चीजें याद रखना है, वो है एरिथ्रोपोएटिन और एक ऑक्सीजन। ऑक्सीजन बहुत ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट होता है ब्लड सेल्स बनाने में। अगर ऑक्सीजन की कमी होगी तो ब्लड बनाने में दुश्वारी हो सकती है, इमेच्योर आरबीसी बन सकते हैं। एरिथ्रोपोएटिन भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो किडनी रिलीज करता है ब्लड में, और ब्लड से वो रेड बोन मैरो तक पहुंचता है। ओके, रेड बोन मैरो तक पहुंचकर वो ब्लड सेल्स बनाने में मदद करता है। ठीक है, तो ये चीजें हमें याद रखना चाहिए। द maturation of red blood cells requires many nutritions. Okay, what are the nutritions required for to mature the RBC? One is protein. Protein is very important. Iron, very important. Okay, copper is a part of some enzymes involved in hemoglobin synthesis. The vitamin folic acid and B12 are required for the DNA synthesis in the stem cells of the red bone marrow. As these cells undergo mitosis, they must continually produce new sets of chromosomes. Vitamin B12 is also called extrinsic factor because it shows external or food partial cells of the stomach lining producing intrinsic factor, a chemical that combines with the B12 in food to prevent its digestion, promote its absorption in the small intestine. A deficiency of either B12 or intrinsic factor results in pernicious anemia. So basically, what we need iron, we need protein, we need copper, we need folic acid, we need B12. So these are the 5 pillars to produce RBC, to mature RBC. If anyone is decreased, what will happen? The RBC will produce immature. Okay, in that most important is vitamin B12. B12 is coming from the outsource. That is the reason it's called intrinsic factor. Okay, it will not absorb in the, it will not digest, it will absorb in the small intestine. Okay, what will happen if vitamin B12 deficiency? The red bloods are immature, and it also important vitamin B12 for nerve generation, nerve function. Okay, सो बेसिकली यहाँ पे बताया जा रहा है कि आरबीसी को मैच्योर रहने के लिए किन चीजों की जरूरत है। बहुत सारे न्यूट्रिशंस की जरूरत है। अगर वो कम हो जाएंगी तो आरबीसी इमेच्योर रहेगा, हेमोग्लोबिन सही नहीं रहेगा। क्या क्या है वो? प्रोटीन है, आयरन है, कॉपर है, और फोलिक एसिड है, और बी 12। इन पांच में से एक भी अगर कम होगा तो आरबीसी मेच्योर होगा। इमेच्योर होने की वजह से बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं। वो चीजें हम पैथोलॉजी में पढ़ेंगे। ठीक है। तो एक कंडीशन है जिसको हम कहते हैं एनीमिया। परनीशियस एनीमिया जो है आपको बी 12 की कमी की वजह से होता है। तो बी 12 आपको बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है आरबीसी के मैच्योरिटी के लिए, और साथों साथ नर्व्स जनरेशन के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। नाउ लाइफ स्पैन, व्हाट इज द लाइफ स्पैन? लाइफ स्पैन इज नथिंग बट 120 days. Okay, here we have the picture. You can see that lifespan is 120 days. What will happen? They after that they will become fragile and remove from the circulation by the tissue microphage system. Okay, the organs that contain macrophage are the liver, spleen, and red bone marrow, and digested by macrophages. The iron they contain is put into the blood to the return to the red bone marrow is used to the synthesis of new hemoglobin. So basically, what will happen? The after 120 days, it is fragile. Fragile after that, it will absorb or macrophages, whatever the cells which eat the red blood cells, they are called macrophage. Uh, okay, they will eat the red blood cells. In that, they will release HB or iron. Okay, they are utilized when RBC are produced. Okay, this is the first thing we have to remember. If not need immediately, but this purpose, excess iron is stored in the liver. If there are excess amount of iron, it is stored in the liver for the future purpose. Okay, the iron of RBC actually recycle over and over again. The globin on protein production is hemoglobin molecule also recycled. It is digested to amino acid which may be used for synthesis of new proteins. So basically the hemoglobins also utilized again and again. Okay, this is the second thing. Another part of the hemoglobin molecule is the hemo portion. One is the important thing we have to remember, that is hem. Hem is a content of hemoglobin. It is a waste product. It is not important. It is converted into bilirubin. One is, it is also waste product. Okay, which will convert macrophages, whatever the the cells, why it is the cells which eat the whatever unnecessary things in the body we have, it is converted into the bilirubin. Okay, so the bilirubin, which are have the responsible to release the bilirubin, which is a waste product which is produced from the hem by the macrophages. The liver is responsible to release this from the body. Okay, and excrete it into the bile. So whatever liver produce, its bile secretion. Okay, it will release the bilirubin. So it will release from the liver to the duodenum. Okay, small intestine and colon. And bilirubin is eliminated in feces. So whatever motion we pass, from the motion, the bilirubin is released. So actually it is yellow in color. Okay. So, so also is called, some bilirubin also released from the uh, urine also. Okay, and as well as from feces. So we will call urobilinogen, urobilinogen by the colon bacteria. Okay, some urobilinogen may be absorbed into the blood, but it change into urobilin and excreted by the kidney in urine. Also told you that, okay, if bilirubin is not excreted properly, perhaps because of the liver disease such as hepatitis, it remain in the blood. They may cause jaundice. So why we have jaundice? Here is the answer: because of the bilirubin, the excess bilirubin which was not excreted from the motion or urine, it will remain in the blood. So it will increase the bilirubin. It will cause jaundice. So in that, what will happen? The eyes will appear yellow. Okay, and the skin are also yellow in color. Okay, we will talk in we have the box jaundice in detail. So this is the lifespan of ब्लड. सो ब्लड का जो लाइफ स्पैन है वो क्या है? 120 डेज है. 120 डेज के बाद वो जकड़ जाता है, उसका जो भी लेयर है वो मर जाता है, वो टूट जाता है पूरा. जैसा आप हम पेपर को जिस तरह फाड़ देते हैं, इस तरह स्प्लीन है, लिवर है, और रेड ब्लड रोड बोन मैरो, यही इसको क्या करेंगे? फाड़ देते हैं. इनके पास माइक्रोफेजेस होते हैं जो ऐसे सेल्स को मारने के लिए तैयार बैठे हुए रहते हैं. ये मार देते हैं. मारने के बाद ये अलग हो जाता है. आरबीसी के जो स्ट्रक्चर्स है वो तो टूट जाते हैं. उसके अंदर हेमोग्लोबिन, आयरन जो भी है, ये फिर से यूटिलाइज किया जाता है. अब आयरन, हेमोग्लोबिन जो है, हेम जो है, ग्लोबिन तो इस्तेमाल इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, लेकिन जो हेम है वो, उसको माइक्रोफेज जब इस्तेमाल में लाते हैं, उसको वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट है, इसको जब फेंकने के लिए जब इसको खाते हैं, तो हेम को क्या करते हैं? कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं बिलरुबिन. अब बिलरुबिन को निकालने की जिम्मेदारी लिवर की है. लिवर उसको क्या करता है? अपने बाइल सिक्रेशन से, यानी अपना जो रास्ता है निकालने का है, उसके जरिए से उसको क्या करता है? उसको देखिए यहाँ पे, बिलरुबिन उसको रिलीज करता है स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में. स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन से फिर वो कोलोन का बैक्टीरिया होता है हमारे अंदर, कोलोन बैक्टीरिया है. ये हेल्दी बैक्टीरिया जो जरूरी है कोलोन की हिफाजत के लिए. ठीक है, तो बिलिरुबिन को यूरोबिलिन बनाता है. यूरोबिलिन फिर थोड़ा सा हिस्सा किडनी की तरफ जाता है, किडनी में यूरिन होके यूरिन से भी वापस चले जाता है. इसलिए येलोइश कलर अगर ज्यादा आ गया तो समझना कि वहाँ पे बिलिरुबिन भी नजर आ रहा है. इसी तरह मोशन में भी येलोइश कलर है तो आप समझना ये बिलिरुबिन है, यूरोबिलिन है. ठीक है, तो अगर ये बॉडी से एक्सक्रीट हो जा रहा है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. अगर बॉडी में ही रह जाएगा तो ये जॉन्डिस क्रिएट करेगा, जो बॉडी के लिए बहुत ज्यादा नुकसान है. इसकी वजह से आपके बॉडी में जो आईस है वो येलोइश कलर नजर आएंगे, और स्किन क्या है? येलोइश कलर नजर आने की चांसेस. ओके, सो so here we have completed RBC. We have the blood types. What are the different groups of blood? We will discuss in detail tomorrow. If anyone have any doubt, please ask.